Hi everyone, Emily here from Emilysvisions. Today I want to talk about disability and abuse. The one thing I wanted to say today is just as disabled people may get benefits and help so that they can have carers and look after them, to make life more easy and more normal for them, to help them to rise above the obstructions that their disability presents them, and I certainly am one of those people. Just as caring is important for disabled people, I think it's also important to recognise how easy it is for disabled people to be abused. If you have a lack of care in your daily life or during difficult times, then as somebody with a disability, your ability and your mental state and your functioning as a human being will rapidly decline, and you'll go from someone who can do a few things with help to finding sometimes the most simple things difficult. And I think everyone could understand that a little bit, because like when you're ill, like when you get knocked over with the flu, for example, you can't think straight, you know, and you have to just struggle through until you get better. And so we can all empathise with times like that. So the thing is, I wanted to mention with that, if you have a lack of care, that's the result. If you get abused, obviously even more so, and actually disabled people are more likely to get abused, because people who abuse people tend to be impatient. They tend to have their own agenda. They're not really that interested in other people having their own views about things. So a disabled person is likely to upset them quite a bit, because they won't be able to do the things that normal people can do. So the abuser will say, oh, just do that, such and such. It is simple, because of course they want it to be simple. And as a disabled person, you may find that you just can't do that thing. And I often find that's a lot of friction in my relationship sometimes, particularly as I have seizures that come and go, and a mental state that come, and a brain capacity that comes and goes as a result of brain damage. And so then sometimes somebody will say to me, oh, can you do that? And like, say last Tuesday I was really efficient and I got it done plus, you know, but because of the state that I'm in, like even sometimes with my husband, and he says, can you explain this thing? And it will be simple if I can just explain it. And then, you know, there's a certain amount of understanding he needs to gain in order to put the subject to bed, let's say. But my brain is like, I don't understand. As like, I look at, for example, say it was an object that's placed in an abstract. I may not even remember placing the object there, or even recognise the object, or my relationship to it. So I just have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm learning more and more to be able to do that rather clearly, and recognise that I'm in an odd state. Over time, that's something that I'm working hard on. So I just wanted to mention disability and abuse, because I do think that disabled people can be, the fact that you can't do something can be extremely irritating to people. And if you happen to have impatient people in your lives who have a tendency towards abuse, they will abuse you. It's a fact. And I think that being aware of, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, being aware that somebody is abusing you is the first step. And it might be I found it sometimes easy to dismiss myself and think, oh, you know, I'm the one who's being difficult here, so it's my fault. And therefore then I really dismiss the abuse, and I'm not ready to look after myself, which is a shame for other people who are in my life, because they then don't get the benefit of me being in a good state. So, and I saw this, it's interesting, it reminded, while I was thinking this, there was a sketch called Lou and Andy, I can't remember which comedy sketch show it was in. But Lou was the carer and Andy was in a wheelchair. And the joke of the thing there was that actually Andy wasn't that disabled. So Lou would say, turn his back or go and do something, and Andy would be out of his wheelchair and he'd be off and he'd be doing his things. And but back in the wheelchair quick before Lou came back. And then also he was quite picky. So like he would say, yes, let's do that. I want to do this, Lou. Andy would say to his carer, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then they'd do it. And then he'd be like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I found that quite interesting. I just wanted to bring that up at the end of this thing because, I think that I can see the humour in it. But there's also a passive aggression that was demonstrated in that, which I think is very normal for people who have to look after somebody who's hard work to look after. And it can be a bit frustrating. And I think probably there's times when everybody thinks, look, if that person just tried a little harder, then everything would be smooth and easy. So recognising the frustration that comes up around caring and disability, I just wanted to mention that today as something that I've noticed. And something that an awareness that I'm working on. So I'm going to actually link this to both my Patreon page and also my epileptic blog, Diary of a Spacebound Epileptic. I'm going to put that in text there, so you can comment and look at the text there. It's been a pleasure talking to you today, and I'm going to go out and enjoy a bit of ice cream and sunshine, I think. So take care of yourselves. Bye.